Welcome, enterprise architects and developer productivity engineers. I am your expert technical instructor. Today, we dive deep into the GH-300 certification domain of managing organization-wide settings, specifically focusing on implementing custom Copilot instructions at the repository and organization levels. Welcome, enterprise architects and developer productivity engineers. Today, we are focusing on a highly testable domain of the GH-300 certification, implementing custom instructions for GitHub Copilot. As you scale AI across your organization, relying on developers to manually type context-rich prompts every single time is highly inefficient and leads to inconsistent code quality. To solve this, GitHub provides a powerful mechanism called custom instructions. These are persistent natural language guidelines that automatically inject contextual detail into Copilot's prompt window before the LLM generates a response. This allows Copilot to seamlessly adhere to your specific corporate styling, proprietary frameworks, and security mandates. A critical concept to master for the exam is the precedence of these instructions. When a developer submits a prompt, Copilot synthesizes multiple instruction layers. Personal instructions, set by the individual developer, take the absolute highest priority. Repository-level instructions, defined within the codebase, come second. Finally, organization-level instructions are prioritized last. However, all relevant instructions are concatenated and provided to the model. Your goal as an administrator is to strategically layer these files to provide precise guardrails without overwhelming the AI's context window. Let us explore exactly how to configure these at the organizational and repository levels to build a secure, compliant AI pair programming environment. We will dive deep into creating the Copilot instructions markdown file, setting up path-specific routing, and managing enterprise governance. The provided snippet illustrates the conceptual layering of custom instructions. While personal instructions are configured in the user's GitHub settings, enterprise architects focus on repository and organization levels. You must ensure that your global organizational rules, such as data privacy mandates, do not fundamentally conflict with repository-level framework directives. Copilot's conflict resolution between competing instructions is non-deterministic, meaning contradictory rules can cause erratic AI behavior. This flowchart visualizes the custom instruction hierarchy. When a developer submits a prompt, the system evaluates personal, repository, and organization instructions. Let us begin at the highest tier of administrative control, organization-level custom instructions. As an organization owner, you have the authority to establish global baseline behaviors for GitHub Copilot across all repositories within your purview. These instructions are currently supported specifically for Copilot Chat on github.com, Copilot Code Review, and the Copilot Cloud Agent. You configure these by navigating to your organization settings, selecting the Copilot menu, and clicking Custom Instructions. This is the ideal location to enforce broad, company-wide policies that transcend individual programming languages or project architectures. For example, if your enterprise requires all technical documentation and code comments to be generated in a specific language, such as Spanish or Japanese, you define that here. You can also mandate global security protocols, explicitly instructing Copilot to always refer developers to your internal security knowledge base for cryptography questions, or completely forbidding the generation of raw code blocks in specific compliance-heavy environments. Because these instructions apply to every single organization member, regardless of which repository they are currently viewing, they must remain universally applicable. Do not place specific framework rules, like use React hooks, at the organizational level, as this will heavily pollute the context window for your Python or Go developers. The GH-300 exam evaluates your ability to correctly identify which level of the hierarchy is appropriate for different types of governance rules. The sample text displays exactly what you might type into the organization settings text box. Notice how broad and universal these rules are. By stating always prioritize the internal security docs knowledge base and do not generate raw code blocks in responses for architectural queries, you establish a global security baseline. The AI evaluates these organization rules last, meaning a highly specific repository rule can technically override them, but they serve as the ultimate fallback safety net for the entire corporate environment. Mastering this distinction between global policy and local repository overrides is essential for enterprise deployments. The diagram maps the organization-level configuration process. The organization owner navigates to github.com settings to input Copilot custom instructions. Moving down the hierarchy, we arrive at repository-wide custom instructions, which are the most common and powerful way to guide GitHub Copilot. To implement these, you must create a markdown file named copilot-instructions.md, strictly inside the .github directory, at the root of your repository. Once committed, every Copilot chat interaction and AI-driven code review within that repository will automatically ingest these rules. This file acts as the project's technical constitution. An effective repository instruction file should provide a concise overview of the project's purpose, explicitly define the expected folder structure, and mandate specific coding conventions. For example, You can enforce the use of early returns, mandate camel case variable naming, or strictly require parameterized inputs for all database queries to prevent SQL injection. However, you must adhere to strict formatting best practices. Use distinct headings, bullet points, and short, imperative statements, rather than long narrative paragraphs. A critical limitation you must memorize for the GH-300 exam involves Copilot code review. When performing automated pull request reviews, Copilot will only read the first 4,000 characters of any custom instruction file. Any text beyond this hard limit is completely ignored during the review process, although it may still be read by Copilot chat. Therefore, you must forcefully prioritize your most critical architectural and security guidelines at the very top of the Markdown file. The code snippet illustrates an optimized .github/copilot-instructions.md file. Notice the clear imperative language using capitalized keywords like always and never. This is crucial for prompt engineering. You are explicitly telling the AI to prefer the Fetch API over deprecated libraries and enforcing strict TypeScript typing. By keeping the file under 1,000 lines and prioritizing critical security checks at the top, you guarantee that both the cloud agent and the automated code review system successfully process your project's architectural constraints. Here we see the lifecycle and constraints of repository-wide instructions. After creating the Markdown file and committing it to the main branch, its processing depends on the feature used. Chat and agent mode read the entire file, but critically, automated PR code review truncates, parsing at exactly 4,000 characters, making prioritization vital. As your enterprise applications grow in complexity, a single repository-wide instruction file can easily become bloated. If a repository contains a React frontend and a Python backend, mixing rules for both in one file dilutes the AI's focus and consumes valuable context window tokens. To solve this, GitHub provides path-specific custom instructions. These allow you to target specific file types or directories. To implement this, you create files ending in .instructions.md inside a .github/instructions directory. The absolute key to making this work is the YAML front matter block at the very top of the file, which must contain the apply to keyword. The apply to property uses standard glob syntax to define exactly where the rules apply. For instance, you can create a frontend.instructions.md file that only activates when a developer is actively editing files within the src/components folder. When Copilot analyzes a matching file, it seamlessly combines your repository-wide instructions with these path-specific rules. This granular routing ensures Copilot receives highly specialized guidance, such as CSS naming conventions or React testing strategies, only when it is strictly relevant. For the GH-300 exam, you must be able to recognize this exact file structure and understand that path-specific instructions are the optimal solution for managing massive, polyglot monorepos without causing AI hallucination or context exhaustion. The provided Markdown snippet demonstrates the mandatory syntax for path-specific instructions. The YAML front matter, enclosed in triple dashes, utilizes the apply to keyword with a glob pattern, specifically targeting all TypeScript React files in the src/frontend directory. When Copilot generates code for a matching.tsx file, it parses these specific rules, such as enforcing ARIA labels and avoiding inline styles. If the developer switches to a Python backend file, these front-end rules are intelligently ignored, preserving the AI's processing power. This precise scoping mechanism is currently supported by Copilot Chat in Visual Studio Code, Visual Studio, and the Copilot Cloud Agent, ensuring consistent behavior. This visual demonstrates path-specific evaluation. When a developer edits a file, Copilot checks the path against the apply to glob patterns. Beyond path-specific routing, advanced GitHub Copilot administrators can exert even tighter control over how different AI agents process instructions. Sometimes, you may want an instruction to be followed exclusively by the autonomous Copilot Cloud Agent, but entirely ignored during an automated Copilot code review to prevent noisy, overly pedantic pull request comments. You can achieve this separation of concerns by utilizing the exclude agent keyword in your file's YAML front matter. By setting exclude agent to code review or cloud agent, you explicitly block that specific Copilot subsystem from ingesting the file. Furthermore, crafting the content of these advanced instruction files requires a highly specific prompt engineering technique. You must move beyond vague directives. Saying write good tests or be secure provides zero tangible value to the large language model. Instead, you must provide concrete code snippets within your Markdown that explicitly demonstrate the right way versus the wrong way to implement a pattern in your codebase. If you want Copilot to use a proprietary internal library for database access, include an exact code block showing the initialization and method calls. Treating your instruction files as living documentation that teaches the AI through direct examples drastically reduces the rate of code hallucinations and significantly accelerates the pull request approval process. The GH-300 certification heavily tests your ability to optimize LLM performance by providing these clear, unambiguous, and syntactically precise examples within your governance files. This advanced snippet showcases the exclude agent YAML property. Here, the administrator explicitly prevents the code review agent from reading this specific file, ensuring that these complex architectural constraints are only applied when a developer is actively chatting with the Copilot Cloud agent. Additionally, the Markdown body uses concrete code examples, directly showing the AI the exact proprietary internal logging wrapper it must use, effectively replacing generic AI behaviors with your highly specific corporate implementation standards. The diagram unpacks the exclude agent routing capability. By leveraging the YAML front matter, administrators can selectively block the automated PR reviewer or the cloud agent from reading specific files. To conclude our deep dive, we must synthesize these configuration strategies into a cohesive, enterprise-grade deployment model for the GH-300 certification. Implementing custom instructions is not a set-and-forget task. It requires active, iterative refinement. When rolling out new instructions, you must adopt a scientific approach. Start with a minimal set of no more than 10 highly specific rules. Open a test pull request and explicitly request a review from Copilot to observe which instructions the AI follows effectively and which ones it misinterprets or ignores. If you encounter inconsistent behavior, it is highly likely that your instructions are too verbose, overly vague, or directly conflicting with one another across the personal, repository, and organizational layers. Always prioritize simplifying your text and breaking massive guideline documents into smaller, path-specific .instructions.md files. Remember, you can proactively generate the baseline for your repository instructions by utilizing the Copilot Cloud Agent itself, simply prompting it to analyze your existing codebase and draft the initial Copilot-instructions.md file. By masterfully orchestrating organization-wide baselines, robust repository-wide architectures, and highly granular path-specific rules, you guarantee that GitHub Copilot operates as a fully integrated, highly compliant member of your engineering team. This iterative process is the hallmark of a true AI architect, ensuring that your automated workflows scale securely across thousands of developers without introducing technical debt. The iterative evaluation workflow is crucial for success. You configure the .github/copilot-instructions.md file, trigger a Copilot code review, and carefully audit the AI's output. If Copilot hallucinates or ignores a rule, you do not abandon the tool. You refine the markdown syntax, add concrete examples, and retest. This continuous feedback loop guarantees optimal AI alignment. Thank you for joining this masterclass. To completely dominate the GH-300 exam and accelerate your software engineering career, visit quicktechie.com for comprehensive, expert-led training. Our final flowchart maps the iterative feedback loop for custom instructions. You draft a minimal set of rules and trigger a Copilot PR review. If rules are missed, you simplify and add concrete examples. If successful, you scale the architecture to path-specific files, securing your GH-300 success with QuickTechie.
Welcome to quicktechie.com. So just type in quicktechie.com here. Then you can go through the material which is provided by QuickTechie. So we have first of all video courses which you can go here and you can find the various video courses across the technologies as well as finance domain. So if you see in Microsoft, we have 8 programs currently running. Next, you can go through the ebooks available. So all the ebooks which are in PDF format today, and you can download this. So let me go through Microsoft certification ebooks. You can click on any of this and you can see this is the PDF available for you to download. So these are the premium ebook mostly available on quicktechie.com platform only. Now the second part is exam simulator. As we primarily focus on the all technology companies and finance domain certification preparation material, so this is company wide listed here and you can go through this. So let me go through the Microsoft one again. You can see this is all Microsoft related certification. AB 730 exam, if you open it, so you can see here this, and all the practice papers are available here. Today we have a 5 practice paper. So click on the first practice paper, it would load the questions. You can answer this question. This is way you can answer it and you can move to the next question. Now third material we wanted to highlight is an audiobook. So we started recently with the audiobooks as well, which you can listen on the go, and various technology wise ebooks are available. And at the last, this is our alumni. These people who are subscribing to our courses and this platform, they are all listed here. And at the end, I wanted to tell you, if you find any course or training or certification preparation material which you want to get us prepare for yourself, please put on the comment section. If you're watching on YouTube, on Udemy, or on this platform itself, quicktechie.com, then please put the comment, or you can even send an email to using this contact us options here. You can directly do the WhatsApp message. You can call us on this numbers as well.